A group of Commonwealth foreign ministers met in London today amid increasing disquiet over Sri Lanka's hosting of November's Heads of Government meeting. Continued allegations of atrocities by the Sri Lankan government in the final stages of the civil war, which ended 4 years ago, had led to calls for a change of venue. Here's our Foreign Affairs correspondent, Jonathan Miller.
There are those who think Sri Lanka a pariah state. But most of the Commonwealth's 54 members don't seem too bothered about allegations of war crimes. The Heads of Government meeting in Colombo is going ahead. It was in Marlborough House less than 6 weeks ago that the Queen signed the Commonwealth Charter, promoting shared democratic values. The Commonwealth Secretary-General seemingly hasn't spotted the irony.
Do you believe that Sri Lanka embodies the principles of human rights, democracy, rule of law and good governance as is laid out in that Commonwealth Charter?
I am fully persuaded that they are sincere in subscribing and following those values.
Kamalesh Sharma faced a barrage of questions, all on whether it was appropriate for Sri Lanka to be hosting the Commonwealth Summit.
Can we really say that Sri Lanka is engaging?
Can I just go back to Sri Lanka, please? Do you not feel that by not taking a stand, the Commonwealth is actually risking compromising its integrity?
How come you're the only kind of body that seems to see this progress?
I can clearly see which topic is most on your minds this morning. But in case you walked in a short while ago, this is not a press conference on Sri Lanka per se. It was not on the agenda of this morning's CMAG meeting.
I think that the credibility of the Commonwealth is increasing right now, because as far as the judicial sector is concerned, we are the ones who are working with them on what can be a solution.
Canada was the only dissenter in today's ministerial meetings. Its foreign minister stormed out of Marlborough House in disgust, glad-handing protesters outside.
We're appalled that Sri Lanka is hosting the summit. The Canadian Prime Minister has been very clear that unless we saw progress on accountability, on reconciliation, and some sort of change on the growing authoritarian trend we've seen in the country, that he wouldn't attend the summit. Regrettably, we haven't seen any of these three, and in fact, they've actually gotten worse.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa, here inaugurating a new airport named after himself, is accused of running a repressive regime where dissent equals treason. The recent impeachment of the Chief Justice led Commonwealth lawyers to demand the country's suspension from the Commonwealth altogether last week.
Practicing lawyers who understand the importance of the rule of law, the independence of the judiciary, called for suspension of Sri Lanka because it has gone so far beyond what is acceptable in a normal Commonwealth state.
The British government is soon to announce whether the Prime Minister will even attend the Sri Lanka summit. The question of the Queen's attendance as head of the Commonwealth is making Whitehall quite squeamish. 30 years ago, the Commonwealth was at the very heart of world politics, its leaders taking a stand against apartheid South Africa. Today, faced with another rogue and recalcitrant regime, this time in Sri Lanka, which is not only going to host the next Commonwealth Summit, but will then chair the Commonwealth itself for the following 2 years, this institution is looking increasingly out on its own, isolated. The danger it faces, of course, is that it could just become irrelevant too. Jonathan Miller, Channel 4 News, Marlborough House.